Welcome back to another Salience Hour Power live stream. Today we're going to have a debate on what bucket is better, Lowe's or Home Depot. I have a couple resources I'm going to share. We're going to watch a couple of videos. They're not very long because I do have definitive proof now that the Lowe's bucket is superior to the Home Depot bucket.
All right.
And I can prove it and I'll show it. And next, I will attack the Farm and Fleet bucket. You know, that subpar bucket that don't even make the list.
It's like third place, right?
It's like fifth. Garbage.
Fifth even. I mean, I even have big league chew buckets that are superior to Farm and Fleet.
Yeah. That's right. So before we get into the thick of this thing, we got ptag up here because ptag recently put a short out really downing the Lowe's bucket. I shared it in the chat, but we're going to bring it up and we're going to watch it because after I play this, he's going to be ashamed once I play the following video. ptag, appreciate you coming up and having a debate with me.
You're welcome. I was looking forward to this. It's been a minute, so I think we're well overdue.
Yeah. Once we get a little bit more people in here, we'll start sharing some videos, showing some proof. And when I'm done on today's live stream, Branton, Slim Tim, ptag, and everybody else is going to be putting their tails between their legs. Lowe's is the superior bucket.
Yeah. After we watch a couple of videos, I do have to mention something afterwards that was kind of like an oopsie on my part. And it has nothing to do with the buckets, but something I thought of after I made the short, and I was like, well, I already made it and it's already posted. So,
okay.
But we'll get into that. Yeah. We'll get into that later.
Okay. Hey, Jody P, good to see you. Let's see who we got here. I know we've got Branton. We've got Slim Tim. We've got Sweet Polly. Jody came in.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good to see you guys. We got 8. It's slowly climbing. Once we get more people in here, we're going to get to the thick of this thing. I've been watching a lot of, I don't know if you watch these guys, but I like Charlie Kirk, Andrew Wilson, the Whatever podcast, the Fresh and Fit podcast, Andrew Tate, things like this. They do a lot of debating, and actually, when you watch enough of it, you start wanting to debate. I would never be able to keep up with those guys on real world things, but you guys know my channel. It's all about comedy and fun. Try to do a little something different over here, but at the same time, add some education and address things like this. You wouldn't believe this little debate we got with these Home and Lowe's Depot buckets. I did it as a joke. I truly like the Lowe's bucket better, but you wouldn't believe that people actually break these things down and dissect stuff as simple as a bucket. And I actually have. I did some research and I actually have proof showing that the Lowe's bucket is better than Home Depot bucket. And then we're going to jump into this damn Farm and Fleet bucket. I just got to do my research first. Jody says I won't be able to stay long, getting ready to make 10-hour drive home today. All right, Jody P, appreciate you. Be safe. Hope everybody had a happy 4th of July. I certainly did. Hey,
Yep,
USA, good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Man, it's kind of hot in here. I don't
So
know.
you've actually looked into this then. You've actually looked into like the firm details of how it's made, you know, like kind of like the TV show, or like how deep did you dive into this?
I did. I did some research. I checked out multiple resources and I narrowed it down to one video. This video I'm going to play, and I did give him credit in the description, so there shouldn't be a problem there. His name is his channel's name is Coffee and Tools. Okay. And he did a breakdown on these two buckets. And I watched another guy who did it too. Took a little bit more of a scientific debate, but why I didn't want to use his video is because, and I actually liked it. He did several tests on the buckets.
Okay.
But the one is he labeled as a hole puncture. And basically he picked like 6 or 7 buckets, right? Home Depot, Lowe's. He took the Advanced Auto Parts bucket, the Napa bucket, and a couple of others. They ran several tests on them. And by the way, one thing I can get out of the way right off, no matter what bucket we're using, they all hold the same amount volume of water, 4.9.
Okay.
0.9 gallons. That's the same across every bucket. The two key differences is durability, where they're made, and what they're made out of. There's a few differences. And but the one he was shooting them with a shotgun.
Okay.
And surprisingly, he was shooting these with a shotgun, and the advanced auto parts bucket and the Napa bucket held up the best out of all of them.
The Napa buckets. I never would have thought.
Yeah, he hit him with a shotgun. It obliterated all of them. The Napa and advanced auto part bucket held up the best.
Huh. That's crazy. I never would have thought that something like that would. You think like an actual Home Depot or Lowe's bucket would have been the top of the line there, for shotgun.
Yeah, and they did. I was surprised too. Turn you up a little bit. Anyways, we got 17 people in, so we're going to go. So I have a little video I'm going to play, but first thing I want to do is I want to share your short, if you're okay with that.
Absolutely. For anyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Present. Share screen. Window. Why isn't that coming up? So let's do this. Maybe I got to, yeah, dang it. Let me X out of here. Let me go back in. Let's search you. Can you still see me?
Yes.
Shorts. StreamYard. Present. Share screen. Okay.
Do you know why you should be choosing your orange Home Depot buckets compared to the boring blah and Lowe's blue buckets for your fish keeping needs? Well, let me tell you. Orange is strongly associated with energy, enthusiasm, and warmth. It is often linked to creativity, optimism, and happiness. Do you want your fish being happy? I know I sure do. Additionally, orange can represent danger, as in be afraid of the dangerous.
You did a good job
buckets.
on this.
They're tough. Or tough.
It took a lot longer than you think.
And also, orange is the color of pumpkins. Who doesn't like pumpkins?
A lot of rehearsing
and
information I looked up.
Blue Lowe's buckets represent for the color blue. Blue is a common word associated with sadness, melancholy, depression. It's dull, it's dingy, it's dumb. It also represents coldness or distant. It also is one of the least appetizing colors for food. So what happens with food when it spoils? It turns blue. Do you want your fish turning sad and blue and cold and depressed and eventually spoil? I know I don't. All because you decided to use these Lowe's blue boring buckets. Come on. You know what? Let's put this thing to the test.
This had me rolling.
Yeah. Right here, my parents, they watched this several times.
You poke at it.
You guys say more. Home Depot, where fish keepers get more done. Bucket drop.
My daughter laughed at the end there. She's like, bucket drop instead of mic drop.
Yeah. And for anyone else who doesn't know, the Home Depot slogan is where doers get more done. So that's why I did where fish keepers get more done.
Or you can do it the right way. Do it right.
Or the highway.
Now, we'll stop here and go ahead and tell us what you were going to say by video.
So in that short, it was funny because I thought of it after I did it. And then shortly after I posted, there's I don't know the individual, which was not a big deal at all because this was all fun and games, between the Lowe's and Home Depot thing. So it's been a lot of fun doing this. I'm not gonna lie. I got a lot of good laughs out of it, and unfortunately, people still can't comment on the short. So I was sending it out to people so that way I could get their reactions to like text message, like you, Jose, Brent, and that sort of thing. But the thing that I noticed, and I'm bashing on the color blue, then after I did it and posted the short, and I was just like, well, crap, all the background on my fish tanks are blue. I was like, I'm such a hypocrite.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Hey,
Yeah.
Tara. Hey, Peplin. Good to see you. Appreciate you guys coming in. Hey, Prodigal.
So I was like, whatever. It's all fun and games, It
Yeah,
was a lot of
and-
fun doing it, and it was a lot of rehearsing and a lot of. I actually do the whole bucket throw and everything. It was it actually took a couple tries to do that just because I wanted to make sure all of them got knocked down or all of them stayed put, and that sort of thing. So.
Well, I enjoyed it, and but it was unfair, as Tim said. You did have weights in the Home Depot buckets, and not the Lowe's buckets. So,
My parents and my brother, all three of them, they're like, "How'd you get those buckets to stay there?" I'm just like, a magician never reveals his secrets. And then on my drive home, I was telling my wife, I was just like, "Do they not realize you could just put something in the buckets?"
yeah, I'm assuming
To
you just
hold
put
'em
like
up.
rocks or sand in there.
Yeah, during this whole tank teardown that I'm doing, I just had a bunch of smaller buckets with sand filled with them, and then they're about half the size of the bucket, so I just put those in there to hold them up.
I agree, Scotty, and I appreciate you coming in, Scotty. That was good, and that's what my channel is all
Thanks,
about.
Scotty.
Who does live streams and debates about buckets? This guy.
Nobody.
It's out of the normal. We're not doing the normal thing over here, and that's what I'm trying
Yep.
to do. Break up that mundane, same old stuff. So, and everybody that's been doing this with me so far seems to really enjoy it, have a good time, and interact.
Yeah.
But if everyone will bear with me for a minute, I would like to now share a video. The video is about 14 minutes long. We can skip as needed. I don't want to bore anybody, but anybody who's been arguing with me that Lowe's is not as good as the Home Depot bucket, I've done my research, and I do have credit going to this guy's channel, and he's tagged in this description, so I shouldn't get in trouble for it. I'm going to bring that video up.
Did you talk to him actually, or is it something that you were?
I just watched his video and then went ahead and gave him credit in the description, tagged his channel. He's really cool. It's about his channel's Coffee and Tools, and he does all kind of stuff, but he's really cool.
All right.
Okay, boom, present, share screen, share. Here we go.
Man, it's crazy. How long did it take for you to find a video like this?
Oh, well,
Okay.
you came up pretty quick.
Howdy, folks. Coffee and Tools again. Thought we'd have a little fun on Mondays. Monday's usually a hack day or something.
Hey, Jose.
And was looking through the two big boxes. There's Home Depot and there's Lowe's.
Oh.
And it really, if you shop them, you probably shop both. I know that, like, what I do is I'll go to one and then I'll go over to the other one and check it too. And then decide which one I'm going to buy from for whatever the product is, the project going on. Sometimes with the projects, you end up going to both stores to get supplies for one project, because one has better this, the other one has better
it's
that.
coming, window liquor.
We all been there. But when I was walking through the stores, I've always looked at the Home Depot bucket and I've always looked at the Lowe's bucket. Really didn't think anything of it. And then one day it hit me. Are they the same? Are they the same price? Are they the same size? Are they both sourced from the same company? Got thinking about it. So today we're going to try to answer that question, or those questions. Today we're going to answer those questions. And first off, let's just say that
this is just Home Depot and Lowe's on this one.
Lowe's, made in America. Yep, made in USA, stamped right on it. I can't find that on the Home Depot bucket. So
come on, Brandon.
But
give it a rest.
Sourced from the same company again, or are they? I checked the Home Depot company, which is Leak Tight, and went over their website and their product line. I could not find Lowe's bucket. So yeah, things started to get a little bit more mysterious as I started digging into this little project. But the first thing we need to do is check the price. As just so happens, I went over to both stores the other day and bought one of each. One bucket, brand new. Yeah, right off the showroom floor. And price-wise, ta-da-ta-ta-da. The Home Depot bucket, after tax, this is in Texas, so sales tax is through the roof, $5.39.
Jeez.
The Lowe's bucket.
Let me stop it right there. Could you imagine spending $5.39 for a bucket in Texas?
I think I only paid for Home Depot, and for this debate, it's about like 50-70 cents cheaper than the Lowe's bucket for a Home Depot bucket. It's like $3.50 or something like that. And I think the Lowe's was like $4.
It's a little more expensive, but there's a reason behind that, and you're going to see why. And I spoke that the last time we had this. It's more expensive because it's a better bucket. And M&C, the green buckets are only second place because they're green, but other than that, they're garbage.
At Lowe's was $5.39. How about that? They're the same price. They're both 5-gallon buckets. Now, mind you, if you drive into town or drive anywhere along the highway these days, you can usually find them alongside the road. Just, pick one up, depending on whether you like the Home Depot bucket or the Lowe's bucket, because you'll find them laying on the side of the road, up hanging off the side of fences, up in trees, sometimes rolling around in back alleys. Yeah, there's no limit. In the trunk of a car that you found one, but they're handy for a lot of different reasons. Also, gotta know. Let's see. Let's find it. All right. So
what he found here is that home. You can make 5-gallon buckets of vacuum. That fits on both buckets.
Just as a place to put the trash that you're vacuuming up.
Yeah, that's a old thing. You don't have to buy a vacuum. You can literally.
The Lowe's bucket, same thing. You get seats and different crazy little accessories. I've also seen people cut these up and make all kinds of crazy, splendid things out of them. Even dust collectors for the shop, for wood shop and stuff. So very cool. But what I wanted to look at today, like I said, was the difference between them. Is there any difference? The handles look to be, and check the measurements on them and everything, pretty much the same. Did you notice something right here, or did you not? Let me get
I noticed it right
off. A nice straight bar level or something across here. I'm going to show you something really odd.
Yeah.
You guys can probably see pretty much what's going to happen here. Yeah, the Lowe's bucket is shorter, not by much. In fact, if I look at that gap, I'd say that's a good, I'm going to call it a ½ inch. There's a ½ inch gap underneath this right now. So this is about a ½ inch shorter for some reason, even though they're both 5-gallon capacity. So what does that mean? Is one fatter than the other? I don't know, because
you never see them in the ditch, Molly, because no one buys them. So you need to get your facts straight.
Apparently Lowe's fits inside Home Depot.
Facts.
Who knew?
Yeah, but watch this. Lowe's fits inside Home Depot.
Right? So
Home Depot
it went in there, slid up, and it went right to the ears at the top of the bucket. So we're going to do the same thing. And you know what? Yeah, same thing. Right to the top of the bucket. So for your money, so far, the only thing you're doing is this one's shorter. So, so now I'm going to get the receipt out first, and I'm going to put them top to top and just see if the very tops are the same.
How do you like that black?
And they appear to be, they're identical. This one here, from Lowe's, has reinforcement along this ring under here, which adds to the strength towards the top of the bucket, so you don't get as much, this way.
This is one of the 2 points.
Now, what about the Home Depot bucket? Well, it has some small fins in it, but it has nowhere near the reinforcement that the Lowe's bucket has for some reason.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a little bit.
Now, let me pause it there. You got your buckets beside you. You can look and see what he's talking about. If you look underside the Lowe's bucket, there's like V ribs all along the underside of that ridge.
Are you talking on the bottom here?
Yep, underneath. No.
Or just right here?
Right up in here. Right in here.
Oh, yeah. It's a little bit wider and bigger.
You see those ribs that are shaped like a V?
Yep.
If you look there on the Home Depot one, you just got little straight ones. So not as much reinforcement there.
You think of it as if you buy a like a shelf, and some of these reinforcements, like if you just get straight, they're not as durable or not as they don't hold as much weight. But if you have like the cross connections of like your industrial shelving, they tend to hold more weight.
Yeah. So which one are you going to buy? If we're talking about shelving, taking this logic from buckets to shelving, which one are you going to buy, ptag? To hold your aquariums, which one are you going
to buy? Home Depot.
Oh, now you're just being, Lowe's is better. So
I don't know. I still like the color orange.
Well, it ain't about the color; it's about the structural integrity.
Bit more squishy. Lowe's bucket has a little more stiffness to it.
Depot's more squishy.
Partly because of
Lowe's is more sturdy when you squeeze it.
It caves in just a little bit easier. And we've got, of course, the Logans here. This one, the Home Depot bucket. The Home Depot. Yeah, there's nothing else on here. The bottom is really rough, and it's not flat by any means. In fact, it's got all kinds of funky.
Tara, I can't believe that
they here. And of course,
made an actual video for this, and Jesse was able to
find
a video.
They will make you a bucket with your name on it. Ace Hardware. They do hockey teams, football teams, logos, flags, personalized.
Some are made better.
They do print a lot of different buckets besides the Home Depot bucket. Now this one here, the bottom's about the same, but
let me just stop there for a minute. So let me address that for a minute. A bucket is a bucket, yes, but it depends on what you're doing with the bucket. We use them for water. They're going to work. But let's say you needed to carry around a bunch of rocks and all you had was a bucket. Wouldn't you want the bucket that has the most strength, the structural integrity? So that's objective when you say a bucket is a bucket. Depends on what you're doing with it.
So so the gallon of water is what's the weight distribution again of that? Isn't it like 8 pounds or something like that? How does that work?
The weight distribution of water in a bucket?
Yeah.
When you're talking about weight distribution, I don't think you get too much with a bucket.
I was trying to think of also, like, if you're carrying rocks, obviously unless you're getting like real stone, like small pebbles, rocks, how does that compare to the weight of a full bucket of water as opposed to a full bucket of rocks?
Well,
is it heavier, or is it? That's what I don't know of.
It depends. I mean, like, I don't know how much a bucket weighs when it's full of water, but 5 pounds is 5 pounds. What weighs heavier, 5 pounds of feathers or 5 pounds of rocks? They're both 5 pounds. You know what I mean? It just depends. You'd have to put them in there and weigh it, but that's a great point that you bring up, because while he's got that Lowe's bucket upside down, what do you notice on the bottom side on each left and right side of the bucket?
There's my camera's not going to pick it up, but there's one here and one here.
Yeah, look at the bottom of your Home Depot bucket. Does it have one?
And what are those used for?
Strength.
To what? Oh, strength.
Strength.
Is that like when? Well, let me see here. Hold on a second.
They reinforce the bottom of that bucket, so if you're wanting to haul heavier rocks, that Lowe's bucket's going to handle it better. Or in our case, water.
So the ring on the bottom of the center, we'll probably talk about that too. It's a little bit bigger than the Home Depot. That's interesting. Like, is it just for setting things down? Is it for carrying? Because you wouldn't think that just an extra piece of plastic would just have that sort of durability,
It does, though. Like, and even if you're talking about setting it down, when you see there's a little bit of a gap around the edge of the bucket to the actual bottom of the bucket.
Yeah.
So the whole center of that bucket's not going to touch the floor, especially when you're carrying it. So those give you a little bit more reinforcement.
Sweet Polly says 8 pounds of water is heavier than 8 pounds of rocks.
Oh, yes, because water is a lot more dense. Water is very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. What do you say?
Scotty says, don't fall for the hype. A bucket is a bucket.
Sweet Polly, how can 8 pounds of water be heavier than 8 pounds of rocks?
It's the same weight though, right?
They're both 8 pounds. It's the same weight. So
like, is his argument saying that like 8 pounds of rock, does that fill up the bucket all the way? I'm just trying to think in terms of like how much does a 5-gallon bucket weigh?
well, if you're talking about
water.
small rocks and pebbles, of course it's gonna fill it up.
I think it's going to weigh a little bit more, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you use small
So,
pebbles as opposed to, well, that's relative too. You know, you can't. All you can do
like
is put them in and weigh it.
like if you're putting if you want to haul around like river rock for your aquariums and you want to move it from one place to another or from one tank to another, or you just want to move it around, I'm sure you're going to fit a ton of river rock in that 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering on the durability. I wonder if this video talks about the handles and the durability of the handles.
He did that at the beginning. He just said both the handles are pretty much the same. I think these companies. So right now at this point, we've touched on the two key points: the structural integrity.
Like the
is better on the Lowe's bucket.
Like these here is what we were talking about first.
Yep. And then the little pieces at the bottom that the Home Depot bucket lacks. There's only one more thing that I wanted to point out. When we get to it in this video, I'll shut it down.
Oh, sweet Polly said that he was messing with us.
Yeah, I figured.
Lowe's has 2 rings of reinforcement right here at the center. The Home Depot bucket doesn't.
Yep.
So which one is actually
It's got 2 rings. There's 2 rings, 1 and 2.
The Home Depot bucket looks a little bit cheaper made right
one.
now. The only other reason is because I've also got reinforcement on the sides here.
Mine has 1.
Edges. And again, that helps to stiffen, carry the base of the bucket a little bit better.
Yeah, mine's got 2.
70 milliliters, metric. This one here, it just says Massachusetts from Leak Tight. So it basically comes from Leak Tight. Okay, 70 mil. And
Sarah, I'm sorry we're keeping you up.
5 US gallon pail. But again, nowhere here does it say made in USA. This puppy here on the bottom.
What was that?
The Home Depot bucket is made by a company called Leak Tight. Nowhere on the bucket does it state that it's made in the United States of America. On the Lowe's bucket, it's made by United Solutions, who is in the United States.
Here, made in USA and 5 US gallon, of course. So yeah, there's differences. And I never would have been aware of it. I always assumed that one company made buckets for everybody, And so this one is from another company called United Solutions, which is a different company from Leak Tight. So yeah, believe it or not, guys, they're not made by the same company. In fact, they're not even sourced the same. And which one's built better? At this point, my opinion is the Lowe's bucket actually has the better build. They're the same price. Let's face it, who cares? But a 5-gallon bucket, I'm going to wash the car. Do I care? But being that I have a little bit of that OCD, I just had to find out, is there a difference? Yes, there is. Oh.
It's some tariffs.
So now, the warning on this about child labor and whatever's going on here,
So those are the 3 key points about these buckets, which do show and prove, you've seen it yourself, that the Lowe's bucket is absolutely superior to the Home Depot bucket. Now, do you want to apologize for your short now or later? Who won the debate?
You do got some good points. I do give you applause about your Lowe's bucket, and I actually do applaud you for the diving deep into this whole debate, because you really looked into it to prove your point. So I think you've gone the extra mile.
Yeah. Tara says that guy just said Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Cecil Mayberry coming in for a member for 10 months. Thank you, buddy. Slim Tim member for 12. Can't thank you guys enough. And next, I'm going to look into that. I'm going to do the Farm and Fleet buckets versus Menards buckets, and what we already know with the Lowe's and Home Depot buckets, we can compare that. Home Depot does not win, Jose. Did you not watch my presentation?
Come on, Jose. Jesse has proven his point. At any rate, though, to be fair, I had a lot of fun making that video, and it was a total rebound from everything that you've been doing between the two. And it was a whole lot of fun. And we've had a lot of good laughs with it. So I think it was well worth it.
Yeah. But I think other than your hardheads like bare bottom Branton, he's always
he's not giving up.
No, even though the facts were presented to him in his face. But to his credit, I haven't done the Menards bucket. I haven't done the Fleet and Farm, right? The Menards bucket's the Fleet and Farms, right? Or is the Menards the green one?
Quality Farm and Fleet, and then Menards are two separate.
Yeah, I got to do the Menards next.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Cecil.
That's that.
And Scotty, he's trying to convince me that it's all fake news.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I said, I didn't even notice, honestly, when I just bought these buckets. It was all good fun and making, pulling Jesse's leg a little bit. But I never even noticed flipping it over about the reinforcements that were different compared to what Home Depot had.
It seems
and like a tiny, like the smallest things, like you were saying, like this here and here, like you'd never would have think, someone
and the double ring and the double ring in the center.
Yeah, and I don't know because the double ring on the Home Depot is a little bit smaller too. It does have a double ring.
Maybe that's new because mine's only got the one. See?
Okay, yeah, because I literally bought these buckets for this video purpose. So I don't know how long you've had your buckets. If that was just like an update, but like you said, like these ones don't have those couple, spots on either side, and no one buying buckets is going to be like, yeah, those don't have that. I ain't buying those.
Yeah.
They're not even going to know. So like, it's going to be amazing to, walk around and, it'd be funny to go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and be like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, I looked into this.
Yeah. And now Branton, once I do my research next Saturday, I'm going to have my normal live stream and I would like you to come up for a debate with me. You down for that?
Oh boy. I will definitely be looking forward to that. I have to watch that one too.
We're going to figure this bucket thing out as we already have. When I make statements, I'm usually right. Branton has proved me wrong in the past when it comes to breeding Jack Dempsey's, and I conceded. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. But when the facts are in your face, you got to be able to admit when you're wrong too.
The window licker said, Jesse mentioned, because I had asked that question too about the handles, and they're basically the same thing, and they're kind of punched into the buckets the same way. And I do hate it too after short wear and tear of hauling heavy stuff that those handles do eventually bend and essentially aren't as useful.
Yeah, the handles are identical. There's really no difference there. The only thing I will say with the handles is these right here tend to break.
Yep. They do tend to break, especially with carrying heavy things. Now, if I'm just hauling decorations from one tank to another or whatever, then it's totally fine. But most of us beachkeepers, we're hauling water, we're hauling rocks, that sort of thing.
Well, and sand's very heavy. Now, Branton says so many points in the general bucket functionality left unanswered. Well, it's not left unanswered because when you talk about structural integrity, well, a bucket's a bucket, right? They're going to carry whatever you want to carry, but the Lowe's bucket is going to hold up more because it has more structural integrity. So the functionality has been answered within this debate.
Also, like what happens too with any bucket, if you're hauling heavy things with these, they eventually start to point up a little bit. And I wonder if the bottom of it has something to do with that as well, with the structural integrity of a Lowe's bucket, that it may not prevent it as much.
If you saw that one point, he squeezed both buckets, and you can do it yourself. You got them there. You can feel that the Lowe's bucket is stronger because of the extra durability they put into it.
And I'm not using a whole lot of force, just enough just to push into it a little bit. I'll probably try to use the same amount of force.
Look at that.
See how there's a little bit more give to it. I'm not trying to push more. I'm using about the same amount of force. So interesting. And doesn't have to do with this really so much. It's just the rim of it, I guess.
And you can see the difference in the rim.
Yeah, it's the same, as far as this, it's the same thickness, but it's all like on this part here.
Yeah, break down again. First, Vin, I don't think Petco and PetSmart make their own buckets, But Branton, yeah, you gotta, for sake of the debate, you have to buy a Lowe's bucket. So you like you told me a while back. How can I have an opinion on why that Jack Dempsey was so expensive and breeding them when I've never bred them? At the end of that conversation, I agreed with you. How can you have a debate about a Lowe's bucket when you don't even have one in your fish room, sir? Oh, they did the Harbor Freight bucket too on this other one I did, and it was terrible. It got totally destroyed.
So
The
it makes me want
actual strongest buckets than that other video I watched was Advanced Auto Parts and Napa. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in.
And what did you say the point was of these two tabs again?
Strength.
Just strength. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna support the bottom of that bucket along with that double ring to hold more weight without breaking or cracking.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have a Farm and Fleet bucket. I don't. Who sells those? Someone's gonna have to send me one because I don't have one of them stores. What's the name of the store that sells them?
Quality Farm and Fleet. I don't know if that's something in your area or not. And
the only thing I have is Tractor Supply.
Yeah, we have Tractor Supply too. It kind of makes me want to go and buy a bucket from Advanced Auto and Napa now.
Yeah, they held up, dude. Like he shot each one with a shotgun. Every Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight. There was a couple other. He shot them with a shotgun. It just destroyed them. The Advanced Auto Parts and the Napa bucket was still half a moon.
Somewhat.
It stayed.
Okay.
So
instead of like almost like a shatter, it actually stayed somewhat whole in a sense.
Mm-hmm. So if Branton, I got to send you this pump and I'm going to get that done. I apologize for that. We talked about it. Maybe you can send me one of your Farm and Fleet buckets and I can put it to the test. Yours will be a lot cheaper to ship. I always use pickle buckets from restaurants, no fancy colors or logos, but they were free. Oh yeah. But I think that I can put to rest the Lowe's and Home Depot bucket debacle debate now. What do you think?
Yeah. Like I said, it was a fun video and it was a fun debate, and I can't believe it's gone this far, but it's been a whole lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed. I never would have guessed that Lowe's had more integrity to it. It's just me going and buying a bucket and making a great video for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, honestly, if I was your wife, I'd be pissed at you because you went out and bought 3 buckets each and didn't even look into it. You just threw shit at them.
So much fun. I got like I said, there was a couple of people that I could see they're like, well, this is dumb. Like just like I said, like the individual that commented about my fish tank. I was like, yeah, I already know that. But it was just, if you don't know the inside joke between you and I and everything else that was going on within chat and other live streams, then you wouldn't really know the whole thing. And now it's come to this, and now you're proving your point. And so that's, it's more worth for you then because you went out of your way to do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to act like an actual high tier podcast channel. Like when I messaged you in Discord, like I had my agent contact you. I'm gonna have my wife do that. The Sterling Aquatics would like to have you up for a debate.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was telling my folks yesterday on July 4th. I was like, this guy's YouTuber. His name's Salient Jesse. We're gonna have like a presidential debate about Lowe's and Home Depot buckets.
Yeah. And just saying that alone is fun. I like to be fun and bring fun to the hobby and do stupid things like this. But in the end, you still learn something.
I think so. Even with all the proven points and even the fun and games that both and I have had going back and forth on which one's more superior, you get to learn something because I never would have known the integrity of the Lowe's buckets and how that worked out, and the reinforcements on the bottom. So it's just like, huh.
And where they're made. I mean, you guys are supporting China when you buy a Home Depot bucket. You're not when you buy a Lowe's bucket. Which
American made, American owned.
What kind of American you want to be?
Plus,
Brandon, that's fine. We can do that. Just let me know, buddy.
If you think about it too, Jesse, it has 2 out of the 3 American colors. So
yeah, that's true. We're just missing the red.
Yep.
Vin says, I have a Petco bucket from Petco I bought in 2018. Does Petco and PetSmart sell their own buckets? I've never seen that.
The one thing I did notice, the Lowe's, I don't know if it's the same in your area, or maybe it's just like the stuff that they put in the Lowe's bucket before they're done with them, is it had a very odd smell. Like the Lowe's buckets kind of stunk a little bit, whereas the Home Depot buckets, they smelled fresher.
Maybe, I don't know. Mine are all well used, scratched up.
Like brand new. It's not like they're, bad for anything, but I mean, it was just, I just noticed, I was like, man, these Lowe's buckets smell like whatever they dip them in or whatever they're finished from, that they just have an odd smell to them.
Okay.
I've never seen PetSmart or Petco buckets either. So I don't know if that's something that they just use, and like, I don't know. I just don't see a reason in buying any of those.
Right. Vin says, I love talking just stupid about anything. I'll make up my own facts. I don't care. Or that was Sweet Polly. Which bucket would fit your head? Most of Home Depots, or they both fit head. Farmer Fleet buckets are red, white, and blue. Now that's pretty American. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think we can get off of the Home Depot and Lowe's bucket debate now. I've won with proof. I would like to get on the subject of Top Fin, a product sold by PetSmart. I don't know how long I have you. 3G says at my work we get the white 5-gallon buckets with hydraulic fluid I can clean and reuse. Yeah, I'd be careful with that. Well, although 3G, you've probably been doing it for a long time, but that's plastic. It's porous, so that hydraulic fluid can seep into that plastic. I'd be a little leery of using anything that contains something like hydraulic fluid in my fish room. But then again, you might have been doing it for years, no problem.
That's another thing that we could get into here for a little bit if you want.
Yeah.
Is if you're reusing buckets. So as an example, just to go by the hydraulic fluid one, I haven't used that one personally, but what I have used is we have chlorine tablets for the pool, and those buckets are really pretty heavy duty, and I've liked them. And I've actually rinsed them up, and I've used them to transport fish and do everything else. And the thing that I do is I always use pretty warm to hot water with bleach, soak it up real good, scrub it up real good. When I'm done, wash it up with Dawn dish soap afterwards, and then let it air dry for a good couple days. And then after that, I can reuse them. So,
I think you're getting, 1 second. Christian B has a Petco 20% off bucket sale. Occasionally you get 20% off whatever I never heard of that. Really?
Me neither.
Because I want to go to that.
Depending on the durability, maybe. But yeah, that's kind of how I do things. So if I have so many buckets at the house now, it's absolutely insane between whatever I use them for.
Yeah.
So
I wish, Scotty.
What does everybody else do? Like, if you could say in the chat, like, how do you, when you reuse buckets, like, for example, like the hydraulic fluid, how do you clean them up to make sure they're 100% safe for fish if you were to use them for that purpose?
I know myself. I was saying, Jeff, here, they're coming to take me away. Haha. They're coming to take me away. Haha. To the funny farm where all the buckets are blue. Dorks.
Yeah.
Yes, Jesse. They does this in an aquarium section next to the saltwater. Okay. Cool, Vin. I'll check that out.
Scotty wants to know how much Lowe's is paying you for bragging on their buckets.
Yeah, I said I wish.
Yeah.
Personally, I think.
So what do you do?
I think you're going a little crazy. I've done that, but I rinse them out real good, and I have done the bleach clean. But I just rinse them out real good after that and let them fully dry. That's the key. If you let it fully dry, the bleach, any residual bleach will dry out and break down.
Yeah.
I have never used soap.
Okay. Because that's whenever if I want to like for example, right now I'm tearing down fish tanks. So whenever I'm cleaning everything up, I put a lot of the decorations in bleach too. But then, like you said, I make sure once I'm done soaking them in bleach, everything clears up. I let them air dry. Just hang them out and that sort of thing. Air dry them completely, let them sit for a couple days.
Window liquor. What kind of dog is that? That dog is gorgeous. That's a massive dog. Look at the chest on that thing. Is that a boxer? No, maybe. I think that's a boxer. That's a gorgeous dog.
Does Walmart have their own buckets? I never even paid attention, I guess.
Yeah, they got I mean, everyone's going to sell their own buckets. I mean, if I wanted to, I'd contact somebody and make a saline aquatic buckets.
That's true.
Pan Corso was going to be my next guess. He is a beast, Bo. Oh, Jesus. I got to go. My vet just called me and wants to see one of my dogs later. All right, Cecil. Good to see you.
Thanks for coming in.
I just got done with a bunch of vet visits myself. I had to take my cat in, get him fixed. He had a urinary tract infection. Well, $1,400-$1,500 later. Oh my God.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories from people at work that's are not cheap to go to.
First time he's been to the vet too. So I clean oil out with gas, then power wash. I bring them home and grow mosquito larvae in them for a month or two, then use them in the fish room. Cool 3G.
Wow, that's quite the process, 3G.
Yeah, because plastics will absorb chemicals, and once they're in there, it's like you're not going to be able to wash that out. So I've always been scared to reuse buckets that have motor oil in it. Look, I'm around hydraulic fluid all the time. I get them buckets, but 3G's been doing it for 30 years, no problem. So obviously it's fine, but I always had the hardest time. It's the same when I clean my filter media out with tap water. Patty's Aquatics, by the way, put out a fantastic video. I think a lot of you guys watched it. He'll go ahead and rinse his biomedia off in the tap water. That's just something I can't bring myself to do. Sponge is okay. Inside of the filter, okay, but I cannot blast my biomedia with tap water. Now, he's never had a problem. It's just one of them things I can't bring myself to do.
I haven't either. Anytime I've had biomedia, I've always just used tank water and just kind of dipped them in and rinsed them out a little bit. And it's not a big deal for me. But most of the time with my water changes, depending on my setup, sometimes I just have a bucket of water, when I'm doing water changes, just to throw it in real quick, rinse it and throw it back in. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just right there. It's right next to me.
Plus, I figure, you're killing some of the good bacteria off, but it's not enough to worry about it, especially when you have an established tank. But I figure leave the biomedia alone because that's going to help rebuild the little that you do kill off. He's a big suck, mama's boy. He's a good boy, getting old now. Bummer, 10 years old. Going to be tough when he goes, yeah, that's the hardest thing about owning pets. Those Rhodesian Ridgebacks, I've seen those, M&C. You ever seen that dog, ptag?
No.
They have like a mane that goes down the middle of their back, looks like a lion. And from what I understand, they were bred to hunt lions, if I'm correct. What a very cool dog.
I've never heard of that name, actually. Rhodesian what?
Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Ridgeback.
I barely use any biomedia, mainly sponges. The little biomedia I do use, I rinse and tap water, never had any issues. So there's another count. I'm surprised. I like to use my biomedia, and I got extras. I'll just put in a sack and keep in my tanks. Like this 375's coming at the end of the month. I'm ready. I could put 18 sponge filters in there, sacks of bio balls, and I'm going to cycle this thing fast and hard.
Yeah.
You got to check out the King of DIY. Found the largest aquarium store in Pennsylvania, recommended by A.H. O'Leary. Called that fishy place. It's as large as Walmart for fish. Yeah, I saw that video, Vin, and I'll definitely.
I did see it. I haven't got a chance to look at it either.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. And I saw his interview, some of his interview with Rachel. I've
been kind of off the spec of King of DIY, so I haven't really been up to date with him.
I haven't been watching him too much. His videos showed up in my feed. I just haven't been watching him too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep up with all of us.
Yeah.
More.
I'd try to keep up with more too. I'll choose all of us in this smaller community than I guess him.
Hey, Webbs, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Definitely missed a good debate on what bucket is better, Home or Low Depot. You got to rewatch this thing, Webbs. It's actually educational.
Yeah.
Cecil says this dog I'm taking to the vet has caused me $2,900. Wow. Yeah, that's getting up there and we're going to do it because we love our pets, but I would have a hard time wanting to part with that much money. Depending on age.
I have heard of pet insurance too, but I haven't really looked into it at all. And I don't have any dogs or cats, but I don't even know if it's even worth it or not. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I have that offered to me. We've never done it. It's actually a really good thing to do. If you have lots of pets, especially, it's hands down the best thing you can do. You have to pay the cost up front, but once it's processed through, they give you your money back for it.
Okay. So it's a little different than insurance for us then, for health insurance.
Yes. You have to pay it up front and then they pay you back after they contact. You get your receipts, and that's at now. And see, so at 14 years old, I get it too. I have a hard time letting anything die. I love animals. If something's going to make me cry, it's animals. I have the biggest heart for them in the world. I have trouble killing a spider or letting a fly drown in a pool. I'll scoop them out. Beetles, animals, and insects, they're also innocent, unlike people. I love animals. I'll save them all day long, but I would have a hard time parting with $2,900 for a dog that's 14 years old. He's on the end of his life cycle there, but I get it. It's tough. You might get another year or two with them, so it's worth it. And I totally get that. Thanks, Webbs, for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you, buddy.
Bye, sweet Polly.
All right, Polly, got that. I hate the heat. Thanks, Webb. Thank you, Tim. You're right about that for me. I'm on the city water treated with chloramines, and I never had any issues rinsing media in it for the few minutes it takes. It's not going to kill. Exactly right. It's not going to kill it all off, but in my head,
with an established aquarium, like you said, if you have a deep substrate, it adds even more to that, established, aquarium and everything. So it's really not going to make a difference. And there's still going to be some left over. It's all about time. That's what I understand. The time that you take to rinse it out and put it back in the fish tank.
Well, I agree with you on that, ptag. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. And we got birds here. I've never had a real infinity for reptiles, but I certainly like the fish and the birds. Don't care about snakes. My stepson had a bearded dragon for a little bit. They're cool, but I've never really been into it. Yeah, I think if you I've talked about it before. If you have a seasoned tank, definitely you can clean it. If you're just starting an aquarium and you've had it running for maybe a few months, I wouldn't clean my crap off with tap water.
Yeah, not just yet. At least to get your tank well established, get some beneficial bacteria on your decorations and your substrate, get it well maintained. You don't have any fish deaths for several months, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I fully understand that, Cecil, for sure.
Especially Cecil's probably had the dogs. How long did he say he had it for? Probably since a puppy. So I mean, when you have something like that for that long, I get it.
Yep, that $2,900, soon to be $3,000, might get him through another 2 years, 3 years. I mean, what's the average lifespan of a dog? It's different per species, but I think it's about 14, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cecil changed his avatar. I like it.
Yeah. The Rhodesian or Ridgeback, they're like a short-haired, brown dog.
Yeah, and they got this mane that goes straight down the middle of their back. Very, very unique.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like a nice, like a white pattern almost.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, there ain't nothing better than a dog's loyalty. So I've heard this and it's funny. Come home after work, put your wife in the trunk of a car and your dog in the trunk of a car. Go back out and open it an hour later and see which one still loves you.
That's interesting.
You'll be the wife.
Yeah.
Dogs love unconditionally, man. They're happy to see you. They hate to see you go. They're just unconditional love with the dogs. And you don't get that with too many things.
Yeah.
I think it's not fair from the Clash. May check it out. Far from the Clash. Okay. The hair is going different directions from the rest of the Ridgeback. Okay. Yeah, I've seen those before. We've looked into them years back. I think it's I don't know where the Clash is. I don't go to those events. There's only one event that I want to try to get to, and that's that one in Charlotte, North Carolina. Appreciate you, Prodigal.
I'm going to attempt to go to the Clash. I'm supposed to go with Curtis, Skull Aquatics. Him and I we're staying there, and we already booked the hotel. And then a month later, my wife's like, "You do know that's right before October?" And I was just like, "Oh crap!" So
what's wrong with October?
October 1st is when the second kid is due.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, well, and then I called Curtis back, a little bit later, and I said, "Hey, just letting you know in advance, I'm still planning on going to the Clash, because it'll be a fun trip. But I'm just saying, if the kid happens to come early, there's nothing I can do about that." So I suggest him to have a plan B just in the back burner, just in case.
If I were you, I wouldn't be going anywhere because you never know what could happen myself.
Yeah.
I feed my rocket gar crappy minnows. I feel sorry for the minnows, but at least you're like me, Christian. I don't feed live foods to my fish because I feel too damn bad for the fish. Both of you should try that live so we can see the unaltered results. Wife and dog. Yeah, that'd be fun, Jeff. Right. Well, I wouldn't get my wife in there, number one. That'd be like trying to put a raccoon in a pet carrier. That's the way the wife and I went. No children, just with pets and fur babies, 2 dogs and 2 cats and 5 fish. I hear you on that window liquor. Pets are great, man. I love them. And but they are expensive. You can't have nothing nice. I mean, I know that's not with every dog, but I've got 3 big dogs. I've got a full-blooded boxer, a female lab, and then I have like this shepherd mix. This shepherd mix, both of these dogs were a rescue. We bought the boxer. The shepherd mix, I named him Mickey. He was a rescue in a crappy town I lived in when I first moved down here. He was running around a gas station. He had gum in his fur. It was right after Hurricane Matthew in 2016, and he had fleas. Took him home. We bathed him. We shaved the gum out. Had him ever since, and he's very loyal to me. This dog was hit by a car. We never took him to the vet. Lived. He chewed his own tail off. We still don't understand why he chewed his tail off, but he chewed it off.
That's bizarre.
Yep. I hit it with peroxide. Boy, that was a mistake.
Oh,
he was pissed.
And
every time after that, I tried to use that like dye that doesn't burn, but is a disinfectant. I always forget iodine or whatever.
Yeah.
After that first time, he wouldn't even let me deal with his tail, but I was able to get it on there and keep it. He never had issues from that. To this day, this dog never has problems.
Huh.
The lab and the boxer get allergies every spring, summer. I've got them scheduled to go get them an allergy shot because they just get so bad. The shepherd, nothing. And he got hit by a car and he got chewed his own tail off. He's never been to the vet. The one time we tried to take him to the vet, we couldn't do it because he hates everybody. I can't even go on vacation because nobody can come around him. Only me, my wife, and my daughter can be around him. Wow, I always told the wife if somebody ever broke into the house, put Max in the bedroom, let Mickey out, and get the pew. It'd be all over. That dog is a beast. He's a tank.
Crazy how each animal is different, just like fish. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, every animal has their own personalities, their own thing too. So,
yeah. It's a fish eat fish world. It sure is. I mean, it happens in the wild. That's the way it is. 180. Say 186. Good to see you, buddy. Monkey blood burns. What is monkey blood? Monkey? What are you talking about? 3G. You need to blow it. He did like you when you came to visit that day, Tara. Remember that. But I don't know if that'd be the case now. I just don't know. But he might. When he was outside running around at Bloomingdale out in the country, he was a little bit different of a dog. We had an AC guy come and he was up his butt wanting to be buddies. But we also had a UPS guy get out. I do believe he's racist too. But we had I don't know if I won't get into that, but we had a UPS guy drop off a package and we told this guy, just throw it and keep going. Because at the time it was out in the country, nothing around us but farm fields. Well, it'll be all right. He gets out with his box. That dog went right after him. And if it wasn't for the box he was holding in front of him, he'd have been in trouble. He had holes in that box and he was grabbing a hole. I had to run over there to pick him up and grab him. But he's changed a little bit. I don't know. He's more of an inside dog now. He loves it.
Okay.
And I just don't know if he'd be the same with her anymore. I was called monkey blood when I was a child. Oh, okay. I never heard that. But he is a tank. We feel like maybe because we had snakes out there. Some of them were them red belly moccasins. Mm-hmm. We'd see dead snakes. They'd grab them and kill them. Me and my wife think maybe a snake or a spider bit his tail and he knew there was a problem. So he just literally chewed it off.
Oh, wow. That's insane. I've never heard of that before.
It was crazy. All right, Brandon, good. Appreciate you, buddy. Just let me know on the live stream, pal. You're old. 3G's like 38. He tries to act like he's 54. He's another one like Cecil and Scotty. Oh, I'm old. They're like in their late 30s, early 40s. Young bucks. Wait till they get to be my age, Bo. Things like that. Oh yeah. Well, that was a good debate. Now I do have.
Prodigal Joe asked me if I should carry my newborn home in a Lowe's bucket.
If you want the child to be safe, yeah.
This is true.
I gotta send you one of these.
I have I want to look more into that. I still haven't yet. He's been really going pretty crazy with those cards.
Yeah, he opened up he's got that new box. What's it called? It's escaped me, but I got the whole sticker set. They're on my so I always had a door here. But in order for my Mr. Cool unit to cool down the bird room next door, the vents we put up and the fan wasn't enough. That room still gets a little muggy and hot. So I took a door we bought. It's really cool, actually. I did this DIY. This is an interior door, a regular interior door you can buy for your house. You see it?
Yeah.
I cut the sections out and installed what they call wire cloth.
Yeah.
So I basically made my own screen door.
Yeah.
And that really helped keep it cool in there. So I had to take that door off, which means I had to move every one of them stickers to that door.
What a lot of work.
Yeah, but I got it done. But hey, we already had the door. Why go buy a screen door when I just made my own?
Yep. You're a handy person anyway, so you'd figure that out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jesse, I can't wait to get to your age because then I could have hair on my head. Actually, I think, and you remember the first Iron Man ptag?
I never watched any of the Iron Man movies.
Loser.
So I know. I'm terrible.
You're not a man unless you do that. On the very first Iron Man movie, they had the character Obadiah Stane, who was the villain. And you know the actor Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Bridgers or whatever it is. That's who Scotty reminds me of. Sounds like him and even looks like him a little bit. Look up Jeff Bridgers in the first Iron Man movie, Obadiah Stane. Watch some clips and then go watch clips of Scotty's videos. You'll see what I mean. Sounds just like him. But get back on the Petco thing.
What did you say his name was?
Oh, the actor's name is Jeff Bridgers, but he played
Bridges. Yep.
Bridges. Okay. He played Obadiah Stane in the first Iron Man movie.
Okay.
And if you watch a couple clips and then scoot over and watch Scotty's clips, you'll see why I say what I say. But getting to the top fin products over at PetSmart, you know, as time goes on, I find their products pretty decent, man.
PetSmart over Petco, or not PetSmart, but the top fin. You're saying?
Yeah, the top. Scotty, don't we wish? Because I'd be calling you up asking for money.
I don't know. I guess I really can't choose one or the other because I've had both Top Fin and Aqueon, and they've all held true for me.
Yeah, I like Aqueon too. I like Aqueon's product, but I've noticed there's certain things I don't like with Top Fin. I don't like their mag scrapers or anything like that. But
yeah.
Wait, does Top Fin make the mag floats? Because I
haven't seen them. The only one I use is the actual mag float, like the actual brand mag float. Those are the only ones I've ever had.
Yeah, I do like mag float, but they're second to Flipper. Flipper's my favorite.
Yeah, I want to get some of those too.
Flipper, they're expensive, but they're nice, man, because they have a thinner profile. You can get behind more things than that mag float can, and they're just a better. That's one of them deals. I've done videos on this. You get what you pay for, type of thing.
Yep.
But I love their airline. Their airline's malleable. I'm hearing that Aquarium Co-op's airline is probably better than that, but I love that black top fin airline. It's malleable. It's easy to, it get hard and like most of them do. They stay on whatever you're running with them. They're easy to pull off.
It's nice to have that malleability because I know exactly what you're talking about because I was pulling airline from my quarter turn valves that's into my PVC when I was tearing fish tanks down. and sometimes they're just so hard to pull off. Like I had to like hold the quarter turn just to be able to pull the airline off, so I'm not pulling the quarter turn valve with it because they're so hard to pull off.
Yeah. Now, so I do like that, but we're going to see if it holds up. And if these ones do get hard in a short period of time, I'm going to swap it all out and try the aquarium co-op line. 3G says Mag Float, best $50 I ever spent on a glass. It is a good algae scraper, but if I was going to spend $50, I'd put it on the flipper float. Because with the flipper float, you get a pad, and then you can flip it and also get a scraper. And it's a lower profile, so you can fit behind things the Mag Float can't.
The Mag Floats, they have a scraper too, but you have to like, it's on the same side, so you like kind of have to like take it on and then take it off and that sort of thing. I think.
Oh, they have a scraper?
I think the Mag Floats do.
About 4 of them, and
I think it's like an attachment that you add extra on top of the Mag Floats.
Yeah, see, that's inconvenient to me. I don't want to.
And it makes it bulkier. So I think, like in your sense, with the flipper float, you can just buy one thing, and you have both of them. You can flip back and forth.
Yeah, and you can flip it in the tank. You don't even have to take it out to flip it.
Yeah,
I think the Mag Float or the flippers are much more efficient. On a serious note, if y'all been watching the news, mass flooding at 23. I heard about that, Scotty. I did read it, but I thought it was a tornado. What was it? There was a camp. What's that camp called? There was a camp in Hunt, Texas. A tornado went through, and they're still missing 23 kids. But in Kerrville, I'm assuming would probably be in addition to this storm. We got floods. So yeah, prayers to these people.
I did not know that.
PetSmart has Marineland. I don't even want to hear Marineland in this stream, this channel, Christian B. Marineland is garbage. Their glass lids suck. Their filters suck.
Garbage. I have one. Wait, no, I take that back. I have 2 Marineland fish tanks, and the one's upstairs, and then the other one's down here. They're doing okay. I mean, I don't have a problem with them, but I just think the durability, when I started buying the Octagon and the top fins and stuff, they're just, the glass is just almost like more durable. The hinge lasts longer.
Yeah. I got some that are so thick. I've had my Oscar ram them, come down, they never break. I've accidentally broke these Marineland ones I've had. They're so thin. I don't know. The co-op lines do get stiff, just the end that's the water. The rest stays good. Okay. I'm wondering at this point if there's not an airline that won't get stiff over time.
Yeah.
It's flooding, Jesse. Hunt, Texas is right next to. Okay, that's what I figured. Hey, Girl Gone Nano, appreciate to see you coming in. You missed an awesome debate. When you got to rewind and watch this thing later. It's fun.
At least the first 30 minutes. There's some good proven points given.
I've had a roll for over 3 years and still good. Which one? The co-op line liquor? Yep, Kerr County. Yeah, definitely heard about that. So we had a nasty tornado, and we've got flooding and storms and damage, and we've got 23 kids missing. I'm assuming as of today, this morning, they still have not found the 23 kids.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the first I've heard of that. That's terrible.
Yep, heard about that for sure. Storms ain't no joke. My wife don't like a strong thunderstorm. It's the wind that bothers her. I probably should have been a storm chaser because I absolutely love storms.
I do too.
If I could, I'd be outside watching a tornado go by. I love it.
Yeah.
When it's dark and it's thundering, I get excited.
Yeah, I like it too. I don't know. Something like that just kind of fascinates me.
Jesse, do a review on a Python airline. What do you mean Python airline? I didn't know Python made airlines.
I didn't either.
Unless he meant top fin. Get a Python airline. Oh, so apparently they do. Yeah, co-op sells it by the roll if you want a good investment. Okay.
Python.
I gotta look into this Python airline
on Amazon. I'm seeing it on Amazon, Chewy.
Okay. How much? What's the biggest roll you can buy?
500 feet.
See it. 500 feet for how much?
$195.
Well, that'd be the one I'd get because I need about 500 feet of it. ptag, go ahead and buy one of those for 2 of us and send me one.
Okay. We got to test this stuff out and see.
Yeah.
Professional quality airline tubing. Interesting. Yeah, I don't see another option. It just says 500, and it does say Python on it. Oh, there's 10 feet for $8.
Thank you, Renee. I did not know that Python was into airline. Their gravel vacs are by far superior. Yeah, I got to get that to you, Tara. It's pretty late. Her birthday was in March. I got to send her a gift. I haven't done it yet. 300 feet. So what's better, co-op or Python?
We could do that debate in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be a good debate. What made you choke? The fact that I'm like 4 months late on her birthday present. I know
what's that. Evil twin stream complete. What does Fishcapes mean?
That as a conversation between Mel and Vin. It must be an inside joke.
Okay.
You know, there are principalities involved here. Yeah. What's the word? Priorities, right? No black, just clear. Oh, so the Python line is only clear?
Yeah, there's no black to it. I don't see anything. I just see the clear /
To be honest, and you can give me your opinion here because we both have central air systems. In my fish room, you see a bunch of black lines coming down. Would it be beneficial to use clear in this case so you don't see it as much?
Well, that depends. My personal opinion, if I have like a black background to my fish tanks, which a majority of mine don't, or let's say like a darker background, I would choose black, but a majority of my fish tanks have the lighter background to it, and I would rather have something that's lighter to go with the background. So I guess it's situational for me.
Oh, Tara, that's cool. I'm glad to see you finally made an avatar on your channel of your push kit there. Tara's a big cat lover. So everyone has tried the co-op line. Jeff doesn't like it. I hate it more than the generic Amazon. So Python, Jeff's with Python. So yeah, we're going to have to order 500 feet each of the clear Python airline and swap all these over.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, but you know the best way to get something done is start it.
Yeah.
That's Sophie. Sophie's cute. Being cute. Still didn't buy a roll of Python, Jeff. Okay. Well, I got Branton sending me a farm and fleet bucket. Got to do some research there. I think Jeff was talking about sending me a 500-foot roll of Python line so I can try that. Pretty sure I heard that right.
$100.
All right. So we'll see. We'll see what it's like. I'm gonna need 500 feet. I think it took when I made this, I needed 50, 100, 150. I think when it was all said and done, I needed about 200 feet of airline.
Oh, wow.
To run but on the big tanks, I got 3 drops. On the 75s and 55s, 2 drops. And on those 20-gallon longs up there, I put 2 drops a piece. So there's 2 drops in every aquarium from when the 375 comes. I got 4 sitting there for it.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to be able to have airstone sponge filters, and like when Lake QQA sent me that fluidized moving bed filter, which by the way is still running great.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. I wanted more to be prepared to plug in.
You're running all your fish tanks through sponge filters then, right?
Yes.
Except for the most part, except for like you have some FX6s too, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, there's air in every tank now, but I'll never get rid of my canisters. I just don't think in my fish room, sponges and airstones are going to do what I need. Not with these cichlids. Canisters are always going to be my favorite. And
Yeah.
I don't think that sponge filters are going to do the job of a canister filter. Now, if I was keeping all small fish, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I got big tanks and big fish.
Yeah. You kind of need that extra filtration and extra surface tension.
Jeff's going to send me. Oh, Tim says he's going to send it to me. So testing 500 feet isn't the right way to go. Individual tanks for multiple brands for optimal way to compare. That's true. That's true. And I just literally put these in. So if I got me about 10 or 20 feet of it, I could put it in a couple tanks. So that's true.
Yeah. Spend like $16 for 20 feet.
Yeah. And then put that in a few tanks and see which one outlasts what.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting to do. Yeah. We're going to do it.
Sweet.
So, did you see that video I put out? It was a real short video about the Higer. Higer has started an online rewards program.
Yeah, you got 10% off.
Well, no, that 10% off is for that sponge filter, that dual sponge filter review I did.
Oh, so they're doing like a whole online sale then.
Yeah, if you go online, anybody can do it, and you sign up. So let's say you spend $10. Well, no one's going to spend $10. Everything's more than that. So if you spend $100 on the Higer website, you're going to get 10 points, and you can stack these points up. So if let's say you buy, I don't know, $300 worth of stuff on Higer's website, you've got 30 points, which equate to money.
Uh-huh. $1 per point.
And you can stack them. So if you save them and then you want to buy something, you can literally use your points to buy something. They just started that.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yep, they started a rewards program.
Oh, it does say, I did see the rewards tab.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that. So yeah, spend $10, get 10 points.
Yeah, so if you guys remember that, if you buy things from Higer, sign up for the rewards program. It's no different than when you sign up for them cards at gas stations to get money off gas or to get Upside app. It don't take no time to sign up for it. When you buy something, you gain points and you can stack them, and then eventually you can get, like Scotty just bought that filter that he wanted to try. You know, things like that. You build them points up, the next one might be free.
Plus you get 10 points for signing up, it looks like.
Yeah.
10 points for signing up and 3 points for the first daily log and for 10 points. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about that as well. Jeff says, time to work, lurking and drive the first service call. All right, Jeff. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right. See you, Jeff.
I may or may not be addicted to solar lights. Oh, I can fix you up with those, Tara. What kind of solar lights? Pucks, spots, sconce? What do you want? But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they started stuff like that, and
yeah,
and that's active now. Yeah, she was going to send me something, but I told her to hold off because after I did the dual sponge filter, she offered me another thing. I said, well, let's hold off on that because I still got to do the big air pump video, which I'm editing and working on now. I said, let me get through that. Plus in July, August, I got a lot going on. My big tank's coming. Obviously, I'm going to be wanting to be focused on that a lot. And I think we got some guys coming to do some work on the house. And my father-in-law is coming back down in August to stay for a while. So I told her that, and she was cool with it. So
I haven't done a product review in a while, just because I've been working really hard at tearing fish tanks down, and I really wanted to try to get this 220 in within the next week or two. And I was hoping to do it by this weekend, but things kind of got pushed a little bit farther back. So
yeah,
I've been pretty busy, and summertime's just busy anyways, between around July 4th time and I don't know. It's been busy for me.
When you got things like that to do in the fish room, like hats off to these YouTubers, these big YouTube channels or even small ones. Everything they do, they put it on video. When you have a task simply as doing, let's say, a water change in one tank and you're video recording it, it takes so much longer and so much more time just to record it.
Yeah.
So some things like you're doing, the last thing you want to do is record it. You're just trying to complete the job. you know.
What I've been doing a lot, and a lot of times I try to use my digital camera and then do it on the computer, but this next video I'm going to come out with, I've been using my phone a lot. And when I was just taking fish and bagging them up and putting them in containers and stuff, I told my wife, I was like, man, I don't have time to make a video and do all this stuff because it takes time. I'm on a very tight window. So I basically just summed everything up, did a recording, explained everything. When I got to the fish store, dropped the fish off, and then I kind of did a brief view of what each type looked like before tearing them down as like a last look sort of thing. Because like you said, it takes time. And
you got to move the camera, stop it, get all the. It's not hard to record yourself getting footage. You don't have to stop it. You can literally just let it play because you can edit out what you don't want later. But I will say, if you're using your phone, if you want to make that video look 100 times better, you need to use Filmora. I've been doing Filmora for all my stuff. They have a button you can click on the audio and video, and it enhances it. And oh my God, what a difference!
Okay.
But I'm also recording it, but I'm also recording in 1080p and 60 FPS. With your phone, it's usually 720p and 30 FPS, which it still looks good, but that Filmora will make your videos look. Scotty uses Filmora too.
It depends on whether, like, because I have an S24 Ultra, and I moved that from a different phone, and it's the reason why I moved to this Ultra is because the quality is really good, but it also depends on if you're using the front-facing camera, like for selfies per se, or the rear-facing camera. Because if you use the rear-facing camera, I can record 4K videos, and they're like stellar quality. Yeah. But if you use the front-facing, it's like 1080. So the quality from my videos is pretty good for the most part, unless you're like in a dark room or something like that. You know, then you have to kind of go from there.
Yeah. Well, what I've learned about that, man, as far as 4K versus 1080p and things like that, I tried to do 4K. For whatever reason, my computer cannot do it. Like
it's different. I realize that too, and I can relate to that because it's almost like your computer doesn't know the type of video it is per se, and you have to convert it to like whatever it needs to recognize to be able to do it.
For whatever reason, I've tried Clipchamp, Filmora. I can record in 4K, put it on the computer, but when I try to put it in the editors, it's glitchy. It won't go. It won't work. So, and I don't have a cheap computer. This is a gaming computer here. It's $1,000 gaming computer. And I don't know what's up. It just doesn't work well. So I'm forced to do 1080p, 60 FPS, which is really good looking video. To be honest, I don't see a huge difference in 4K and 1080p and 60 FPS. I can also adjust a lot of other things to match it. But
most people don't have is the 4K watching capabilities anyway. They're usually just doing it on their phone. So it's kind of like, do I really care about it that much?
Yeah, and that's where I was going to go to next. Then, and Hoggins pointed out to me, most people don't have the capability to watch 4K anyways.
Yeah.
So it can impact your viewing. Scotty records in 4K 99% of the time. I guess I need a better computer to handle it. I don't know. Clipchamp is yeah, but it's not working on my end. I've tried it.
It depends on like.
I'm glad you came in, Christian B. I certainly appreciate it. I did notice the new name, but although I think I remember seeing that avatar in the past, but I certainly appreciate you coming in and subbing. Appreciate you.
There's a lot that's involved with a computer. Like if you buy something that says like gaming computer, like I guess long story short, and I have a computer buddy that's really good with computers, and it all depends on like what graphic card you have and what the capabilities of it are. Because you could go and buy a gaming computer and spend $1,000 on it, but that doesn't mean that if you're recording 4K and having like a lot going on all at once at the same time, that could be the reason why everything's slowed down, or maybe something's going on with it.
But I updated.
It's a lot. It's a lot to look into.
It is. When I bought the computer and I was talking with my stepson, he knows all about this stuff. We went ahead and bought the upgraded cards for it and everything. So it's not the stock cards that came with it. It's the upgraded card. It still doesn't do it. And I'm definitely Tommy recording in 4K for sure. But Filmora, Clipchamp, I can't get it to work. But if I do 1080p with 50 FPS, that's what you're looking at right now with this webcam. I can do the same with my camera. I don't have a problem. I can do whatever I want. And I think it looks great. Yeah. Way better than my phone. I got to stand up.
My digital camera, I really like using it, but like the problem is, like I said earlier, is with my phone, it's just so convenient. So I can take it with me. I can take it in my pocket. I can bring it out real quick and record just a small section of it and then put it back in my pocket, keep driving around and doing like, this is why it's convenient for me when I'm doing everything I'm doing now, because it's just convenient. With my digital camera, obviously it's bulkier. It has like really good quality, but then I have to edit it. I have to go on my computer. I'm away from my wife and daughter. It's in my computer room, in its own room. So it's like, it just takes more time. I got to go to the editing program and stuff. So
it does take
that's the only downfall.
Yeah,
it does take a lot more time.
It does.
You got to upload it to your computer and
especially if you're not used to the software. Once you learn the software, it goes just as fast. Like I got pretty familiar with Filmora now, but it's still not going to be as quick as say a mobile app like InShot or CapCut. Scotty got away from CapCut. I've always used InShot, but now I'm doing Filmora and you get a lot more options. It looks much more professional. And I always enjoyed editing videos, so I never had a problem with it. But some days I just want to just use InShot and do quick stuff, and I'll bounce back and forth.
That's how I feel. Like I've been using this app called UCut when I use my phone, and I want to look into Filmora, but it's just kind of like one of those things where like we're in a habit of like, exactly where everything is, exactly everything does. You just bring it up, edit it, and then boom, be done.
Right. Hey, pal, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Yep, Tim, I've done the old shorts on those. You know that. You got to have the Python. This guy went 30 years keeping fish, just now bought a Python hook. Bruh.
I don't see why they just include that hook with the siphon hose. Like that should just be something that's included in the bag anyways.
No money would be made that way.
Exactly. Unless they bump the price up.
But I'll tell you what, I donated my Python hook to my wife. So when she's filling the pool up, she can hook the garden hose to it and just hang it on the pool. I now use the homemade DIY one that I made watching Scotty's video. I made it, and that's what I use in here. So my wife can just hang it on the pool and walk away.
Okay. Did you use that with PVC pipe then?
Oh, yeah. Let me get it.
Yeah, it's nice to learn multiple editing softwares. I use DaVinci Resolve when I'm on the computer with my digital camera, but it has a big learning curve to it. So sometimes if I don't use DaVinci Resolve for like months on end, I kind of have to refresh my memory on where everything's at and how everything works.
Thank you, Tim. Right here. What's nice about making one of these is it's customizable. With the Python hook, the water goes straight down. You can disrupt sand, makes a hole in the sand unless you put like a rock or a piece of dripwood there. With this
That's
here,
the downfall, yes.
Yeah, with this here, it's customizable. Like this is how Scotty did his, but I also went and made a spray bar type one for like 20-gallon longs. I got a piece I can shove in here, drilled holes in it so it spreads out across and doesn't disrupt much or blow the fish around. And you got a stop valve. It was very simple to make. And there's your garden hose connection.
That's cool.
That's glued, and it's glued here. You don't glue this part because you want to be able to turn and adjust it. It doesn't leak. It works great.
So like, how do you keep it in place? Like it doesn't, like the water, like I guess the small water pressure amount, it doesn't push those things off?
Not at all. I do full blast from the hose and it don't do it. And you can make this distance whatever you want to fit the rim of your tanks. Just hangs on like the Python hook.
So that's cool because I wish I had known or thought of something like that, because when I was doing water changes on my 10 gallons, that was like one of the worst things about using the Python hook is it would just blast the sand everywhere. And then I have to, there goes some of that beneficial bacteria that flies up in the air and stuff, and then the fish are getting pushed around.
Yeah. Exactly. Scotty, that's something I never worried about. After I do a video, and if people want to keep them as backup, I understand the value behind it. Plus you always have them. You can change them, throw them back out, do things like that. After I make a video, I don't store them. I delete them. They're on YouTube for free. If I lose my YouTube channel and I'm not doing this anymore, oh well.
Honestly, I don't think YouTube's going anywhere. And if it did, you're kind of at the mercy. That would be like the only downfall. For some reason down the road, YouTube decides to say, hey, we're only allowing you X amount of storage or X amount of videos, and you have to pay for it, which, God, I hope that doesn't happen. But I do the same thing. I used to store them. And then one day I literally went through so many videos because a lot of them weren't 4K and they took up so much space. So after I'm done when I first started, I was like, maybe I should save these in case I need to re-edit them or want to change something, but I never did. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to delete this because it'll slow down your computer, and I don't need to worry about buying an external hard drive. So I just deleted it. And once it's on YouTube, I was okay with it. It's there.
Yeah. And, you know, the one good thing about storing them and holding on to them is that maybe you show something or you have music on there. Like you can put a copyright free music on your video. As long as it's copyright free, you're good to go. But that creator at any time can say, okay, I don't want my music to be free anymore. I'm changing it. 2-3 months later, YouTube sends you a notification. Hey, this video is muted. The original creator doesn't want people using their music anymore. Boom. Now you still have the video to go back to extract that audio and change it. So stuff like that can happen. There's value in keeping your videos for sure. But if, like I said, if not that I want it to happen, but if I lost YouTube for some reason, it is what it is. I still enjoyed my time while I was doing it and had a lot of fun.
That's kind of how I feel too. Even when he says that, like what Skyler's saying, if you get hacked and lose everything, that's kind of like one thing I just kind of accept. Like it's fine. Like I still have my fish tanks here. I still have, you know, stuff that's on my phone, you know, but for the most part, I delete everything anyways.
Yeah. And this is a 1 terabyte pewter, and I got lots of space left over. Tommy and Tommy does fantastic video editing. Tommy's really good at editing videos. If you just watch the Aquatic News Network and the things he puts together. So yeah, power. I made mine. Scotty made his. Never thought about making a spray board tank. Oh yeah, it's super easy. You need a cap. You need 1 cap. Just shove this in the end, put a cap on the other end, boom.
And the caps, is that just stuck on? It's not glued on or anything?
Nope. I can remove all this stuff.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
It holds nice and tight. Now, this is just your regular thin wall PVC. If you get Schedule 40, that's a thicker wall. I like to generally use the thinner wall stuff because it's lighter. And I find the connections are pretty tight. Like, well, I cannot twist that off right now.
You have to use a lot of force.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of water pressure.
So I have an interesting thing, and I thought about making a short on it, or even like a real short video, since a lot of people can't comment on my shorts. But so my 220, it's a custom aquarium, and I have 2 FX6s that are going to be going onto it. But you know how most FX6s on a regular store-bought aquarium, it has like those clips, or you has a U thing that goes over it. You just have to use a little bit of force to put it on. So this custom-made aquarium, you can't do that because of the way the top is made. And it's hard to explain, but essentially, long story short, I can't use those U clips to go into where the filter is going to go into, like the intake of the tube.
You can't use it because it's too wide, period, or it's just too hard to push on.
No, it's the way that the top part of the aquarium is made. It's probably like several inches out before the lids are set down on top of it. So there's no way you can get it on.
There's additional glass bracing.
Yeah, there's a lot of glass bracing on it, so there's no way at all to put it on.
Even on the back panel?
Correct.
Because that 300 I have here is like that, but the back panel don't have it.
Yeah, that for this one, there's no way.
Okay. So
I could take a picture of it and show you real quick if you give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead. Paul says the end of my hook is capped. I drill lots of small holes when I'm draining tanks. The top hole will be the minimum water depth. I can drain without sucking up fish. Yeah, that's a good idea, Paul. For sure. I've been using sleep sounds from Alexa for my live stream. No copyright yet. Okay. Sometimes it takes him a while to catch up to you, though, Tim. My stream has 5 hard drives in it. I worked in IT for many years and still have a ton of stuff from it. Okay. It's basically a spray bar, but pointed straight down. Makes sense, Paul. Sure. I put a ball valve on it such a way that all I need to do is turn off the valve, move it to another tank, and open the valve. Yeah, that's what I do. I got a valve on mine. as well. But I noticed if I turn that valve off too long, it builds pressure up, and I tend to get leaking at the python connection. So I was thinking about taking Teflon tape and putting it around all the python connections so I can do that without having to worry about water leaking out. Yes, Joe. Yes, you can. My custom aquarium has an FX6 on it. We'll have to chat, and I can show you how to make that work.
So, all right. So this aquarium also has an aqua decor background. So it has places for the filter to go too. So let me show you this picture. I have to walk away for a minute from my earphones. So I'll try to show this picture as best as I can so you guys can see. But
that's no good. I'll tell you what. Can you is that camera a webcam you're using right now?
S24 Ultra. I can send you this picture if you want.
Yeah, share the picture to me.
And then I don't know if you can bring it up on here on your live stream. Is that something you can do?
Hold on 1 second. Am I muted? Can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Hold on. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. The picture should be sending to you momentarily. Not yet. Can't hear you.
But regarding the cameras, I have the GoPro Hero 13 Black, the new GoPro camera, and that thing records in even better than 4K. It'll do like 5 something. So Tommy, I know that I'm recording in 4K, sir.
I sent you that picture.
All right. So what I can do is I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to save it. Okay, now I'm going to hook up my phone here to the computer real quick.
Oh, you can like share it as like a screen share sort of thing.
Yeah. I hope the screen don't go black, but just pardon me for a moment. You're not, yeah, you can't see what I'm, can you still hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see. That's exactly, yeah, I see what you're saying with this picture. You're going to have to DIY some sort of a holder.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of wondering if I have to do like something like PVC related or something like that. And in order to get that area into that section, because it's on both sides. It's exactly the same on both sides. Scotty says that he's got a custom aquarium too, and he can use it. So he seems like he's might be able to help me on that too. The Euro braces.
Yeah.
What's Euro braces?
Euro bracing is a glass that goes all around the bottom edge of the aquarium and all around the top. It's additional glass bracing. It's makes the tank much heavier, but it also makes it much stronger, and it makes the tank more expensive.
Okay. Yeah, Scotty, if you want to, I don't know if you have, because that might be what a custom aquarium has. I wonder if has that Euro bracing. Let me look at it again.
But my 300 was Euro braced, but the back of it did not have it.
Okay, hold on a second.
And right there is a picture of ptag's aquarium there. MNC says these 55 low boys I built have the Euro braces. Mitchell Broom told me how to.
So yeah,
his.
that
Okay.
shockingly enough, MNC Aquatics, it is Euro braced. It's like that around the entire aquarium.
Yeah, I got your picture up.
So yeah, so where that corner is, that's where the FX6, the intake tube, would go, and then I would take the outtake somewhere else. And even then, with the outtake for both of them, I'm not really sure where to place it because I have glass lids that'll go on top of it, obviously. But as far as because I'll put that intake probably with a pre-sponge filter and just shove it in that corner there. But as far as how to lock it in place and still be able to service a pre-sponge filter and where to put the outtake, that's where I'm having trouble with where to place that at.
I'm assuming that doesn't have overflows and it's not drilled.
Correct.
And also, if Scotty wants to, here's the link. You can come join us, buddy. Come up on panel and talk about it a little bit. You're more than welcome to. And I'll leave this picture up. But yeah, I see what you're saying. That's too wide to fit those things. So I feel like if you know what you could do, this gets into a little, Scotty probably has a much better fix, but in my head, if you took say 3/4 inch or 1 inch PVC and you cut the top off and you were left with like a channel, like a trough. If you took a PVC pipe and cut it in half, you're left with a trough, right?
Okay.
I bet you can make one out of PVC using 90s or even 45s to make something to fit over that. But then how do you make sure it stays? You'd have to like do a 90 to go back up under that Euro brace.
Yeah.
Oh, he says, so it's not a custom aquarium per se, so he can't help you there. I have a custom aquarium, 180 gallons that has a metal frame, so it's different.
Okay. That's all right.
But I mean, there's a bunch of fish keepers in here. Steady over 20 plus of us been in here. Maybe we can put our heads together and figure something out.
Yeah.
Hey, JT, good to see you, buddy.
That was the only idea that I had, was somehow getting some sort of PVC put together and then somehow getting it to put in place. Because I tried to get a hold of the guy that I got this from, that I've seen it run, and it never had any issues, but I didn't see the placement of the FX6s when he had it in. And I tried to get a hold of him, and I didn't get a response back. So
you got me thinking. You got my gears turning.
yeah, because the intake tube, I don't think will be bad. It's just, I think it's the outtake and just getting the intake tube to stay. Because I probably won't use that cage or whatever that's on the intake tube. I'll probably just take that off, and like you and I always do, we'll just do pre-drills and put a pre-sponge filter on it, and it'll stay fine. But locking it in place and the outtake.
So one thing you could do is I just showed you my DIY Python hook, right?
Yeah.
You could build that out of PVC, and you can make it to where it's wide enough that you're basically going to make a PVC hook that will fit on there. Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of build it myself, cut it to size.
Right. And then you can even, when you get on the inside of the tank end of that, you can take a 45 so it goes back up underneath that Euro brace, and then maybe like a little piece that goes down. That's going to hold it in place. And then all you got to do is hook your hose to the outside of the piece that hangs off the back of the aquarium.
And just kind of clamp it on, I guess, per se.
Yeah, you can do hose barbs, you can do clamps. Yeah, for sure. That's probably what I would do. Make a PVC piece customized to fit and lock onto that, and then just hook your hose to that in the back.
Okay.
Couple $5-10, you could make 2 of them pretty cheap. Probably be the easiest thing. Now, I did see the other option is this. You know that ribbed hosing that comes with pond pumps?
Yeah.
The same thing I use to drain all my tanks. People were actually taking those and replacing the stock hoses that comes with these canister filters because they're not as stiff.
Okay.
You can get that in 3/4 and 1 inch, I believe, at Lowe's. you could replace your canister hoses with that hose, and that stuff's a lot easier to work with as well.
Yeah, more like malleable, bendable to kind of go into that spot.
Right. So then if you had that, if you could just figure out a way to hold that hose around there, well, that hose is going to come around there, and then you have to hook to your inlet and outlet tubes, and your inlet and outlet tubes can be held in place. So as long as it's clamped, I don't see it going anywhere.
I don't think the intake tube is going to go anywhere, but that space isn't big enough for the, like, I guess my outtake is I'm trying to figure that out as well. I don't think the intake tube will go anywhere once it's set in place, like you said. So
I mean, there's always a possibility for them stupid suction cups to come off.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be using the suction cups. I don't think. We'll see.
Now, the other thing is this. I don't think they make any big enough, but you know, when you get a gravel vac, you get these bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
If you had something like that you could clip on the side that was big enough, that would hold your hose there.
Mm-hmm. That would be useful too.
But I don't think they make them big enough.
Yeah, without it being like an overflow and something that's drilled, it's definitely a challenge to put everything together. But I think I'm going to go what you said with your route and just try to do some 90s and maybe some 45s and maybe go with that. You said that it was called a flex hose or pond hose or something?
It's a ribbed, they call it pond hosing. It's ribbed and it's black. And I seen where people were using that on their canisters and getting rid of that rigid, stiff hose that comes with them. Looking at them right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to work with.
Okay. I should probably go that route then. I'll have to do some looking around today and tomorrow and see what I can come up with.
What is the size diameter hose on those? Is that 1 inch? Is that 1 inch hosing? Hose?
I'm thinking it's 1 inch. Yeah.
I know they sell 1 inch and 3/4 pond pump hose at Lowe's.
Might even be 3/4. I don't know if between FX2 to 6, I don't know. I think it's the same hosing.
But you know, they have those rubber couplers to hook things up. You probably don't even need clamps.
No, I could probably just get some of those couplers and just use those with the pond hose.
I feel like that's the easiest way for you to make that work is to make your own PVC. I forget what they're called.
You get that pond housing in white as well.
These.
Oh yeah, I'd have to make my own one of those things out of PVC, essentially.
Yeah, because even if you cut this part off, it's still not going to be wide enough to go over that. There's nothing you can do to make these work.
Nope.
But that's the nice thing. I told this guy building my 375, hi babe, that listen, I don't want a sump. I don't want drills. I don't want holes drilled. I don't want overflows. This thing's going to be ran by 2 FX6 canister fillers. So you need to ensure you make a space on the back wall for 4 hoses.
Yep. And that's what you told about your aquarium, you said that you're getting?
Yeah, because he's building mine. So I can say, hey, build it this way.
If it wasn't for that extra glass piece, then I could still be able to attach an FX, hose to it, but that's obviously not the case.
Right. You can get that pond housing in white as well. I have some hosing, he meant, and 1.5 inch pond hose that goes directly into PVC fitments. Okay. Speaking of drilled aquariums, my 90-gallon sump tank needs a cleaning. All right. Yeah. Clean it, Tim. Clean it. He's doing some maintenance while he's watching us today. But we've got in 10 minutes, it'll be 2 hours. We're going to go ahead and stop the stream at the 2-hour mark. So we got 10 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions or anything you want to talk about, ptag, the floor is yours.
No, I think I'm going to be doing a the live stream's Sunday. It's not posted yet, but I was thinking of doing it Sunday night because I start my night shifts on Monday for next week. But
Okay.
I have a topic that I want to talk about, and it has to do with the process, I guess, of buying used aquariums and how to go about it and what steps to take. Because I've heard Ben Ochart talk about this discussion one of his live streams, and I think it's a nice topic to talk about and how to get things to work out. And it's just this all came arise within this last few days because I've been working with some people through Marketplace, and it's been challenging, I guess, to say the least. So I think it's a good topic to kind of bring up and discuss. But I won't talk too much about it. I think that's kind of the topic that I'm going to talk about. And
well, I've talked about that before. I like it, and I don't. If you don't mind, I'd like to touch on a couple points. All my tanks are used. There is not one brand new tank in here except for one. This 29 gallon I got years ago. All my tanks are used, every one of them. So what I do is I asked them, hey, does it leak? Can you prove it? If they're unwilling to or can't fill it up with water and send me a video and show me, I go look at it. If I feel it's going to hold water, I buy it, I bring it home. I also try to tell them, hey, look, if I find that this don't leak, can I take it back? Some of them say yes, most of them say no. So you're taking a risk.
Yeah.
But luckily, and knock on wood, I've never had the problem. I buy them, I take them home, and the first thing I do before I do anything, I don't clean them. I don't invest any time in them. I fill them up and let them sit for a day or two. If it's not leaking, we're good. I clean it, rinse it, let it dry, put it in the fish room, fill it up, and use it.
Yeah.
That's my process. And that's all I've ever done. I think Tim is one. A lot of people, they do these like week-long leak tests because something can show up later. So I get the idea behind it, but I let it sit one day overnight, and then that's it for me. If it's not leaking water by then,
that's what I've done too.
And I don't reseal them. I'm not resealing them. I've never resealed my tanks. This tank right here, this 120 gallon right here.
Yep.
This got my big blood parrots in it. That's an old aquarium. I got it from a guy who died. He was 40 years military. He kept fish for 40 years. That is an old aquarium. It's over 40 years old. I didn't reseal it.
It's still running strong.
Yep. Of course, they did make aquariums a lot better back then than they do now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I've even heard that like a lot of like I can't remember which brand it is, but I think that they're starting to make them a little bit cheaper now, and the seals don't hold up as good as they used to.
Yeah. And just in case, I made this thing. Like, so with the old tank, you had a piece of glass as the centerpiece, that silicone front to back. It's real wide, like that wide. I made this thing just in case that thing decided to fail on me. It's basically a piece of metal channel with 2 angle irons in each end, and I glued gasket material. So if that center brace ever gave way, I can drain that water down, put that thing in place, fill it back up, good to go. It's going to hold it.
Yeah, that's always a nice thing to have, for in case, if a dire situation, I guess.
Yeah. I always reseal a used tank because 99% of my tanks are in the house, so I don't need a leaky. Yeah, and for most of my fish keeping career, if you will, all my tanks have always been in the house. But now I'm out in the garage, so if something happens, big deal. It's on a concrete floor. It's going to go out to the driveway. I think throw the fish in anywhere and then fix it.
I think eventually I would like to have all my fish tanks down here in the fish room as well. It all depends. It's kind of like I don't know. It's a work in progress. I do like my 2 upstairs, but most of my tanks. Oh, actually, so my 10-gallon rack is gone. Those were all used tanks. I have a few tanks that are used, but I think it's like a 50-50. My fish room was full bore with all the tanks I had between new and used tanks. But I've never paid full price for a new tank because I've always got them on that 50% off sale.
Right.
Plus, at the time, Petco and PetSmart, wherever it mostly was Petco because they had that's when they had the 50% off. And Lost my train of thought here.
Bye.
Shoot, I had a good point. I got distracted a little bit, but at any rate, I always got them at the 50% off sale, and I've never had any issues with them. Oh, that's right, because they're rewards. They give you points for it. So anytime I went and bought 6 20-gallon long tanks or something like that, then I would get rewards with it. So then on the next 50% off sale, if I got more tanks, I would use that. Plus, I would get even more discounts from getting the points from it. So it worked out well for me.
Yeah, but one of my favorite things about buying tanks on the marketplaces too is you get a lot of cool stuff with it. Like my 125-gallon Oscar tank back there, I got the thing for like $250 or $300, but it came with an FX4, a crap ton of food. It came with the lights. It came with everything.
Yeah.
You used to be able to get that setup at PetSmart for like $800 or something. It's like $1,000 now. I think last time I looked.
Full retail price for a 125-gallon at PetSmart is like $1,000. But if you get it on sale, I think you get it for maybe $600.
Okay. Scotty always MNC says I resealed my 240 several 29s and a 310 and a bunch of 40s. Okay. And I mean, I'm prepared for that. I got the silicone, and after doing 300, all these tanks are nothing.
I've resealed a couple of 10-gallon tanks, and I've resealed a 40-gallon tank. That's about all my experience has been so far, and it's all held. So,
yes, sir. Well, having said that, my friend, I certainly appreciate you coming up. I'm going to go ahead and shut this bad boy down. I haven't had breakfast. I'm getting hungry.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure being on here. We can meet backstage for a few minutes and then go about our day.
All right. Sounds good, my man. I appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out with me for 2 hours. It's been fun. You got the Home Depot versus Lowe's buckets verdict. If you didn't catch that at the beginning of the screen, you got to go back and watch it because I was right. I won the debate. Lowe's is better. And if you want to know why and you didn't see it, watch the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, at least the first 30 minutes and you'll get why.
Yeah.
It's been a good one. It's been very fun.
I had fun. No one else does crap like this. I'm enjoying
it. Absolutely.
Catch you guys later. The best. Have a good 4th of July holiday weekend. Be safe. We'll see you out next Saturday. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you all. Thank you to all my channel members and subscribers. You're all the best. You're what makes this fun.